You have land, you live. No land, you die.
Forced displacement is actually a cultural genocide.
It's clear that water resources are highly valuable. Big dams are not the answer. So what's the alternative?
This is really about where we want to go as a human community.
Sarawak adalah salah satu daripada dua negeri Malaysia yang terletak di Pulau Borneo. Malaysia sedang mengambil langkah untuk menjadi negara maju menjelang tahun 2020. Salah satu usaha skor atau koridor tenaga boleh barui Sarawak. Kerajaan negeri bercadang untuk membina sebanyak 12 empangan besar tambahan di Sarawak. Adakah langkah ini akan memberi manfaat atau membebankan masyarakat Sarawak?
A study from Oxford researchers found that between 1937 and 2007, large dams such as these doubled, even tripled in their cost overrun.
Our sample is by far the largest in the world. So it's 245 dams. About half the dams we looked at are a net drag on the economy. The countries would be better off had they not built the dam.
Empangan besar memakan belanja beribu-ribu juta ringgit. Dari manakah datangnya sumber uang ini?
Sarawak government, if they are building the dam, the money comes from the Sarawak government, which is tax money from the people. So it's a dam supposedly for the benefit of the people, but actually it's going to burden them financially. Everybody will pay for it.
It's fair to say that people have a low level of welfare today because politicians on their behalf made these very foolish investments.
What is likely to happen with these humongous score dams is that the state will need to keep spending and spending and spending money that it either doesn't have or money that they're siphoning from the public debt. They are playing ultimately a gambling game. They're playing a game of roulette with the pensions, the retirement money of normal Malaysian citizens.
And when debt levels get that high, essentially the country is just on a hamster wheel trying to finance, service the debt, but there's no building of new schools or no building of new hospitals, or they can't even finance local roads. A lot of necessary investments, particularly at the local level, simply dry up because there's no fiscal space left.
Empangan Baram adalah empangan seterusnya yang akan dibina dalam siri 12 empangan dalam program SCORE.
Now the question is, do you destroy the livelihood and the cultural identity of 20,000 people simply because you want mega factories and mega industries?
Mega dam is not development for us. Mega dam is to destroy our land. I'm working in Sarawak Energy for 12 years. After that, I resigned because I don't want Baram mega dam project.
I don't want to move anywhere. Please don't make the dam. That's all.
Bagaimanakah keputusan ini dibuat dan pihak mana sebenarnya yang akan menerima manfaat dari projek-projek mega ini?
This political industrial complex of people, politicians, their families, their cronies.
The present governor or the ex-chief minister, Taib, his family owns some companies such as the CMS, and they are the company that gets the main bulk of the project, billions of ringgit from a dam.
In some cases, they are not even trying to hide the corruption. Most of these contracts have gone to companies linked to the ruling family. Investors from outside who invest in these projects, they should be extremely careful because they will very likely get involved in corruption.
For an investor thinking of investing in a controversial mega dam project that's going to take years to come to fruition, they'd want some guaranteed returns. They'd want to make sure that the process wasn't derailed by popular protests. Private investors have to be wary.
And the people who benefit are just a small minority of people who are living in the big cities of Sarawak, in the big cities of Malaysia, or even foreign countries. Now, the investors, the equipment suppliers, the expertise, the technicians, the engineers, and all these people, what they are involved in is a project which involves abuse of human rights and forcefully relocate people from their homeland.
People who are marginalized and who are actually going to be completely steamrolled have every right, to scream loudly to the world community, to the Malaysian community, to say, stop. We need help because we can't do this ourselves.
Sejarah telah membuktikan bahawa pembangunan skala besar yang dikuasai pihak atasan hanya membolehkan sejumlah minoriti yang menjadi amat kaya, tetapi mengorbankan masyarakat majoriti.
So I think there's a role for democracy, freedom of speech, media freedom. Having a less corrupt system really helps unleash the talents and the entrepreneurial ability and the creativity of the population.
We should hold our banks or corporations accountable because we should not tolerate human rights abuses. We should not tolerate the destruction of one of the world's most biodiverse habitats.
Pembinaan tenaga alternatif boleh memberi tenaga elektrik yang secukupnya untuk masyarakat Sarawak sambil memelihara sumber alam untuk generasi yang akan datang. Sarawak perlu membuat keputusan sama ada ingin memilih pembangunan pesat yang berasaskan tenaga hidromega atau memilih pembangunan berasaskan sistem tenaga pelbagai yang lebih sesuai dan lestari.
I hope government can look for the new development for our local people in Baram, not to build the Baram mega dam.
What are energy alternatives for the future of Sarawak? There are a number of resources like microhydro and solar and even small-scale biomass that could actually supply energy in a robust way in these communities. So you can envision a system where all of these different types of resources would come together and be able to satisfy need. And there are a lot of benefits as well to having a diversified energy portfolio. Lower risks. You create more jobs because you have different types of skilled labor sets that would be needed, as well reduced emissions and higher returns on investment.
The basic idea of using non-dam based hydropower, small and numerous, in a more modular fashion is going to lend the flexibility but also the scalability.
Why can't we have development that builds on the resources of these 20,000 people and all these villages? They have access to beautiful rivers, they have access to beautiful forests, they actually contribute to reversing global warming. We have economic benefits from medicines, you have food products. I don't see why we can't go the way of tourism. I don't see why we can't go the way of scientific research of biodiversity.
Pembangunan lestari akan menjana kepulangan kepada lebih ramai penduduk serta generasi masa hadapan.